Good evening, everybody. You're welcome to today's meeting. Once again, so I'm Dr. Abimbola Onifate, and we'll be talking on insulin resistance. We want to know how dangerous insulin resistance is.
Recording in progress.
And what you should do to deal with the problem of insulin resistance. So I hope you can see my screen. If you can see my screen, you can just raise your hand or you can let me know, please. Let's be sure.
I can see your screen, sir.
All right, that's great. Thank you. Thank you for that feedback. So, yes, to give a disclaimer, this is not my website. This is not, I'm only using this because it's useful. So, I'm using this website for educational purpose. It's not my own. I'm not making any claim to any content you are seeing here, but using it because it's going to give us the required information that we need. So most of the sites I'll be using will fall under that category. So I want to talk about insulin resistance. Insulin resistance. If you have been part of our program for some time, you will know that one big thing we talk about on this program is insulin resistance. As a matter of fact, insulin resistance is one major problem that is foundational to a lot of metabolic disease. When you talk about metabolic disease, you're talking about disease like diabetes, you're talking about disease like hypertension, you're talking about disease like obesity, talking about things that deals with body metabolism, all those kind of diseases. And again, the next thing is insulin resistance have effect on many other diseases that are not even directly metabolic as such. So it has also been discovered that insulin resistance play a major role in cancer. It plays a major role in, please, can you kindly mute your mic? Okay. So insulin resistance also plays a major role in cancer. We are going to be focusing on diabetes and hypertension tonight, but I want you to understand that it goes beyond diabetes and hypertension alone. And those are some of the things I often wish people that come on our program may understand. Now, let me say this. Okay, someone says I can't hear anything. Can you hear now? If you, I hope you can hear now because other people are hearing. So now, as I'm going to be talking in this program, you likely hear me say two things, because what we want to do is to solve a problem. And there are two ways by which you solve this problem. Number one is whatever you're doing medically. Do you understand? So when you have this medical challenge, you often go to the hospital, the doctor make prescription, tells you what to do. So we are not against what you have been told to do in the hospital. So I'm going to be making reference to that. The second thing I'm going to be making reference to is I'm going to be giving some practical tips that after the program you can start following by yourself. And the third thing is that I'm going to be talking about our own program that you will have to pay for. So it is entirely optional. And the reason why I'm going to be talking about it is that some of the solution I'll be giving, it is on that kind of a program that you'll be able to solve it. There is no other program like smart medical programs for diabetes and hypertension intervention in this environment. We are totally different. So I won't be able to refer you to somewhere else. I'm going to talk about that. So please bear that in mind. So it is not a sales pitch. And if it is, who really cares? It's going to be it's going to be a mutual benefit at the end of the day. So please bear that in mind. So like I was saying, I said, this insulin resistance, what is it? Let's define it. Now, your body, you have different cells in your body. And there is an hormone that controls sugar. It is not just insulin. There are several hormones, but I want to focus on insulin tonight. And what insulin does is that once your blood sugar goes to a certain extent, insulin takes it and puts it in different cells in your body. Now, we'll say that a person is insulin resistant when those cells are no more sensitive to insulin. That means insulin is trying to do its work to drive the sugar into the cells. Meanwhile, you need to understand that the purpose of the sugar is for the cells to be able to have energy. That's what gives you energy. So, but what will now happen is that, for instance, what happens in diabetes? The body needs this sugar. Insulin is trying to do its work, but the cells in the body refuses to take those sugar in. So in that instance, we say that the person is insulin resistant. Now, it so happened that it is not only in diabetes that you find insulin resistance. It also has been discovered, maybe not like recent discovery as such, but let's just use that word like that. So it's also known that insulin resistance plays a major role in hypertension as well. In fact, when we started this program, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I had a little doubt. I was so sure that it was going to help people who are diabetic. But honestly, I was a little skeptical about those who are hypertensive. I was a little skeptical because that's how it causes diabetes is easily understood. And so long as we can take it away, it is sure. I have no doubt about that. I can put my money on it as I dare. But for hypertension, I was not as sure as that. So to mitigate that, what I just did is, if they were not going to be satisfied, whoever goes on the program gets his or her money back after the program and they're not satisfied. So that was my rationale to test it out. I was definitely going to give them that money back, because if it's not going to work, then why have people's money? But to my greatest surprise, people who are hypertensive, they got results faster than those who are diabetic. So I discovered that most of the time when I'm doing programs like this, I just say it categorically that once I'm talking about anything hypertension, diabetes, take it for hypertension as well. Why? Because the underlying problem is the same thing. Now, I'm going to get to very soon. I'll give those who have been part of our program. I'm seeing quite a number of them here. Probably you've been part of this program for some time. I'll give you opportunity, maybe just one person, to just say something, please. So I'll just like a mini interview for you. So now, it is implicated in diabetes. It is implicated in hypertension. It is implicated in cancer. Now, I'm not saying that once you take care of that insulin resistance, then cancer goes away. But there are many other things that are involved in cancer. But even if the person has cancer, and we have some consultation with you, we look into some things, we know one or two things we can do that will improve the outcome of whatsoever treatment you are getting based on this understanding of insulin resistance and some other understanding as well that still link one way or the other. Now, there is a disease called polycystic PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. So that's going to be more important to people of childbearing age. So it's one of the main cause of infertility in female. It so happened that this insulin resistance is the major thing causing it as well. So a proper knowledge of insulin resistance is going to reverse PCOS. As a matter of fact, we have a program for PCOS as well. Almost the same thing. You understand? So you can see what this insulin resistance means to the body. What again? How would you know if you have insulin resistance? The thing is, the easiest way to know is to do your test. You check the level of insulin. We usually don't do it routinely. And the reason why we don't do it routinely is that people, I don't know, maybe the facility. Then number two, in this environment, until people are about to die, they're not ready to even take charge of their health, you know? So offering them insulin tests, I don't know. I don't know how easy it is to do around this place because it's not anything difficult to do. It's just to fill the same form, but most of the laboratories don't do it. You don't check for it because it has not caused problem yet, but it is going to definitely cause problem. So another thing I should say now is, many people, they will say, I went to the hospital, they check all my body. They did not see everything is working well. It's not true. I'm not saying things are not working well in your body. But how many tests did you do that they check all your body? It does do urinalysis, they did some chemistry, they did, and you said nothing is wrong with your body. It's not true. Do you understand? If they do all the tests, even you will go broke. There are some tests that, you know how much it costs. The thing is, those who you are seeing, the doctors you are seeing are intelligent people. When they ask some questions, they know what to focus on. So that's what happens. And again, there is an aspect of medicine called preventive medicine. That's like what we are doing now. Sounding alarm so that people can prevent even disease that we might not know that is going on in your body. So when you take some precautions, lifestyle changes, dietary changes, come into organized program like the program we do that is holistic, you discover that some of those problems, you naturally avoid them. Have you seen a situation whereby somebody is very sick and they are treating the person in the hospital? Another one is not sick at all. Suddenly you just add that the one that is not sick at all is dead. And you now be saying, and that guy was not sick. It's not true, he's sick. He might be sick. Then we'll say, it is the arrow of the enemy. Am I saying the enemy cannot throw arrow? I'm not saying that, but, when we are talking medically now, somebody that had diabetes that died, you say, diabetes killed him. Another person have not really had any significant checkup test. They've not really make any diagnosis. And the person died, they now say it is arrow. Especially when probably the heart is beating very fast. Or the person had an heart attack, you say, it is an arrow. It is not an arrow. That is the same way diabetes presents, the way it presents, and takes time to kill people. There are some disease, it starts fast and ends fast. Now, it's another thing if you're trying to say that, okay, the devil now use that disease as an arrow. Now, you can change the English and it can appeal to senses a little more. But for you to say because They have not diagnosed him of anything before. It is now an arrow. It's not true. Only that they've not made that diagnosis. It doesn't mean that it's not going on within the body. Now, we can't diagnose every disease, like I say. That's why preventive medicine is crucial. So when you go to hospital, for instance, they ask some questions, the doctor looks stupid to you. He knows why he's asking all those questions. If you just give an answer to those questions, it might resolve the need to order for some investigation or not, since it is not pressing. Do you understand? And it is the same thing that I tell people, for instance, when we organize our premium program, you know, we do this free program that it's been some time that I've done it now. I think I'm not going to do it again. So after the free program, the free program that we give some dietary guide and all and the stuff like that, many people used to get results. In fact, some people just within that 2 weeks of the free program, their blood sugar, everything comes to normal. Then it now becomes a chase. We thank the people that comes back and say, oh, so we did your program and it is so helpful. I just want you to know. You see, I'm super grateful to those kind of people. Some people will not even say anything. Some people, it's even just like you have offended them by even giving them a free program. You know, some other will come and give insult and all the rest. But now, what is instruction I want to take is either the person is grateful or the person is ungrateful. The most important thing is that did the program help you? And it so happened that it does help many people. Fine. Don't stop at that. And it is the concept of this insulin resistance that I'm talking about. You know that before diabetes or hypertension shows up, like I'm trying to educate you, this insulin resistance is there. Do you understand? By the time your blood sugar becomes normal, it doesn't mean that your body is no longer insulin resistant. And by the time your blood pressure begins to become normal, it doesn't mean that your body is no longer insulin resistant. So that's the problem. Even those who have been on our program for 3 months, we still have other programs that we encourage them to take. And it is because of the concept of this insulin resistance, your blood sugar and blood pressure might have come to normal. It doesn't mean that the state, the sensitivity of your cells to the insulin has come as supposed to be. Now, what is going to be the repercussion? The repercussion is going to be that within some time, not long after, you begin to experience the same problem again. Blood sugar shoot up, blood pressure shoot up. You see, this is something that really pains me so much. And what pains me so much about it is the ignorance of people. Do you understand? The ignorance. I believe that if it is not ignorance, most people will do. You know, I observe some people that have been on a program. They come to free program, they join the first program. Some people are taking all the program. And when I say all the program, we've had up to maybe 5 programs. And some people have always been there. You'll be so surprised. Why do people get results? It's commitment. You can't compare somebody that would not even do the free to somebody that did the free, did the first, and after the first gets everything normal, blood sugar normal, blood pressure normal, and some other programs we have that is going to be helpful to the health, did the second, third, and they are even asking, do you still have any program that can help our health? And this is not a program that you have to travel or you have to, it's something that is just a blend to your normal life. It's not like it's changing your life to the worst, it's even making it better. Now, why am I saying this? I'm only buttressing a point. See, insulin resistance. Insulin resistance is the thing we are firing at. Of course, you know, because it doesn't cause, it doesn't break you down. So for some time, you feel well, you feel okay, until it begins to break down before. So that's the cause of relapse. I hope that point would have helped somebody to understand that you have taken a 3-month program and you are feeling fine. It's not a reason you should go on a break and start what you were doing before. If we see any other program, please take advantage of it. And if you have not been to the 3-month program at all, at the end of this meeting, I will tell you how to join, and you should do that immediately. So, there are other signs to show that shows a person is becoming insulin resistant. Let me show you on my screen. I've talked about blood insulin level. Can you see? This looks extreme. You see how dark this armpit is. This one looks so extreme. But you can see this neck. You can see how dark the one my cursor is pointing at. You can see this armpit. We call this acanthosis nigricans. So it's the darkening of the folds within your body. When you begin to see that the part of your body that folds on itself, it becomes dark like this, becoming dark like this. That's a sign that you're already insulin resistant. And that's an inroad to many sickness and disease, you know. So it's not only diabetes and hypertension, like I've been saying. It's implicated in arthritis. It makes asthma worse, you know. It doesn't even look attractive to be looking at. I think it's enough here. So when you begin to see these darkness like this, you can tell somebody to check it for you. But anyway, most of the people I'm talking to already are doing something about it. And I believe that since you are here, you are doing something about it. So that should not cause you to panic. So we just want you to understand. So those are the two main things. Insulin, when you check the insulin level, which we rarely do, then when you see the doctor's signs like this, and also sometimes when I'm dealing with some clients, I just tell them, I want to see your picture. It's not only because of this acanthosis nigricans, this darkening that I just showed you. There are many other things we can know just by looking at your face. And you know that sometimes doctor tells you to bring out your tongue, check your eyes and the rest. So that's part of it. There are so many other things that the doctor is checking that is not even telling you, because he doesn't need to tell you that, okay, bring this out or bring that out. He's seeing it already. How you are walking, how you are talking. So sometimes when you're talking to some people and say, you know, doctor ask some question and people say the question looks like a foolish question. Only that they just respect you a little. They don't want to tell you you're a foolish person because of the question you're asking. But it's just the reverse, because those questions are the questions that will help. So it's not the doctor that is foolish, it's the person that doesn't really understand why such things and how useful it is. So this picture is not clear, but what you can see here is the kind of food this man is eating. So insulin resistance is not genetic. Now, diabetes is genetic. There are rows, hypertension too. What's it called? It runs in the family. Yeah, that's sure. But it is not only genetics that makes it happen. In fact, a person that doesn't have any genetic predisposition to hypertension may get it. Why? Whereas another one that has all the genetic predisposition will not. Now, what makes the difference? What makes the difference is simple. Is because it is not only the genetic issue that makes it happen. You have to cooperate with it. So that's what we can call it environmental. There are medical terms for it, but you won't, I don't need to be speaking all those jargon. So those are the things that make people get it eventually. So now what we are trying to do is, we're trying to take all those things that are not genetic away. If we take all those things away, no matter if your father, your mother, or whoever have it, you are going to reverse it and you'll be able to stay well. So you see this kind of a food is called junks. Junks. This is the high road to eat. Now, this is the high road. Whatever you take inside is going to play a significant role. Okay. So, symptom of insulin resistance, well, let me see which site is this, because it's not like all those sites are credible as such. So I'm not trying to take my lesson from any site. Well, they have some points, craving for sweets and salty food. I really don't particularly think this is a symptom of insulin resistance. I just think these are things that people do that make them to become insulin resistant. Do you understand? So, like you see, this is junk. Now, talk about increased hunger or thirst. This is when insulin resistant has become diabetic. The person that is insulin resistant has become diabetic. And you know, since your body is not working well, it's not the cells of your body are not taking in insulin, the blood sugar as it ought to. Why not? You begin to see some of those signs, but not as in diabetes. So, yeah. Can't use that much. There are some things that doesn't really automatically follow. Let me see if we can get any value from this one a little. Yeah, this is a little more valuable. You know, insulin resistant, I talk about another thing, acne. Yeah, acne. High blood sugar, tired after meals. So, yeah. You see? So, how does it influence and causes diabetes, the hypertension? Because I know people wants to hear about hypertension all this while. So let's talk about hypertension before I run this meeting up in a few minutes now. I have been saying many times, I talk about inflammation when it comes to hypertension. If you follow that program for some time, you'd have had inflammation, and inflammation. So I want to show you what inflammation is. For your look at this. This is normal heart rate. Let me be sure that everybody can see. Please raise your hand if you can see. You are even free to unmute your mic and tell me you can see. Okay, thank you. Thanks to those who are raising their hand.
Can you expand the?
What do you say?
Expand the picture.
It can't be expanded. I'm sorry about that. Let me see. This is a website. Let's see if we can go to that website. Okay. We're on the site now, and I think it's expanded now. So thank you for making that request. So you can see the normal heart rate. You don't need to overthink this. Just look at it. Do you understand? This is the normal heart rate. See how it looks. Now, artery that is inflamed. Look, see how it looks. See this whiter part, and see how it is coated in red now. That's the meaning of inflammation. You understand? Now, the challenge now is, if it's just going to be like this, if it is just mean this, why not? But now think about when your body, your leg, if you hit your leg against a stone, what happens? The leg begin to swell. You know, different problem begin to, the leg, it pains you, it's swollen, and all of that happens. It's the same thing when artery becomes inflamed. Only that the way the signal is being transmitted, you are not like in your leg. Your nerves is telling you that, oh, you hit your leg against something and it's feeling pain. Doesn't really get to happen like that in the artery. But what is going to happen? Over time, your artery is going to stiffen once it's inflamed. Let's say you have injury in the outer part of your body now, and it heals. You know how it heals. It doesn't heal well, and all of that. The same thing, you know, the same thing in this instance. As this artery is getting inflamed, it's also getting healed. Now, look at the cross section of this artery. Just look at what I'm cycling. You know, look at it. That's the same where my cursor is. That's the same thing that is going on. Now, compare the two. You can see how this has become, is it crooked or ragged now? What should I call it? You can see this circle inside here. See how it has become in the arteries that is already inflamed. So that is what inflammation is doing to your body. So blood flow will become difficult. And once the blood flow is against resistance, then you have hypertension. It's not more than that. Okay, it might be more than that, but that is enough for you to understand the concept of hypertension. Let me see if I can see another picture that will be useful for you. You see, probably that's enough. So you can see what inflammation is doing. And this is largely contributed by insulin resistance. So you can see that insulin resistance is a very bad resistance that is going on. So that's what it does to the artery. And look at this. Imagine when it's happening. Inflamed temporal artery, that's in the brain. So imagine, well, I won't talk about brain today, but you can say many things about it. So look at this. This is the position. This is what we call atherosclerosis. It's narrowing the artery. So this is fat, and this is come from bad diet. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean it's coming from fatty food. You understand? But there are some fat that is fat that we call good fat, there is fat that we call bad fat. That's sorry for another day anyway. But see how this is narrowing your artery. Then see, blood flow will become difficult. It gets narrowed to a certain extent. Then we begin to, at that time we call it, it begins to give you some problem like angina, that's chest pain, depending on where the narrowing has occurred. So we call it ischemic heart disease. So, because when it becomes narrow, the blood will not be able to flow to where it ought to flow, and you begin to have all those problems. So what are you supposed to do regarding this problem? That's what I've said, essentially. The issue with insulin resistance deals largely with diets. And unfortunately, if you've been coming on our program, I've said it many times, there are many diets that you are told that that's what you should be eating, especially when you have diabetes, and they are good recipe for diabetes, those diets themselves. Now, it's not about stopping diets or not. Okay, I'll stop sharing my screen briefly. I want to do something on my system and I don't want you to see it. So, it is not about diet, it is not really about stop this, start that, don't do this, don't do that. There are two senses in which we can say that. We say that in the hospital in the sense that whatever you eat, either you stop this or stop that, the problem will still continue. That's not the sense in which I'm saying that. I'm saying that to reverse diabetes and hypertension, diet is important, but it is not as you think. I'll give you an instance. Many people often ask me the question, what can I eat to kill diabetes? What can I eat to destroy diabetes? And my answer is very brief and simple. There is nothing you can eat to kill or destroy diabetes. Now, you need to appreciate why many people ask those questions. Maybe you do too, in that same regard. What they're asking is that, give me the food that I will eat that will flush diabetes away from my system. You know, people used to say something like that. What food should I eat to flush diabetes away from my system? What can I drink? And that's the reason why many people go ahead to drink herbs and to drink all of these things. They say to flush diabetes. Now, if our goal is to make money, if my goal is to make money, I would have made a lot of money. You don't have an idea of how many people that tries to approach me and say, oh, let's work together. I have this product, I have these services, and they are not lying. They usually have those products and services, but just that I know that those products and services does not do anything that they are claiming it will do. And people even say it is going to heal all sickness and diseases, do this, do that. It's not true. You understand? This problem has a lot to do with lifestyle, and it must be dealt with on that merit. If we deal with it on that merit, it's going to be resolved. Then another thing is, we've been part of the previous 2 or 3 meetings or 4 meetings that we've had. What we do in diabetes and hypertension intervention program, the premium program, now is just beyond diet alone. Well, for some people, diet alone takes care of the problem. For some people, there is need for vigilance. What I mean by vigilance is one-on-one consultation, which I think everybody should still get. Sometimes you need to change your medication to the one that is less harmful. We might not do it immediately. We can, you start the program, we see how it's going on. We taper the medication down, we take it off, or we change it. Because when you have this problem, diabetes, hypertension, or the rest, there are some medications that will protect the damage the disease is causing on your kidney. So we want to put you on that pending the time. You would not even need any of those medications again. So that's what it does. Please, is there anybody that have been on a program and you would like to share with people how it has helped you? I just need one person because I want to round up now. I believe that is going to go a long way. I see quite a number of people because once you have been on a program, I store your number by myself and I remember all those names. So I'm seeing different people here. I don't know if you would like to talk. You can just unmute. And I don't know if it is correct to call anybody. Yeah, I won't do that anyway because I've not asked for permission before. Is there anybody like that that would like to? Hello, do you want to say something? Hello? Okay, so that's just by the way. Peter Yekwe or Technopovanio, do you want to make a contribution? Do you want to tell us how our program have helped you? Want to tell people? Okay.
Hello.
Well,
I'm a first timer. This is the very first time I'm joining your program. I would rather say, I would rather say I've learned something, I've benefited something. Maybe subsequently, I'll try to make contribution. Well, I have learned something.
Sir, yeah. Yes, thank you very much. As a first timer, really, yes. In fact, the people I was asking after are people, there's some people that have been on our program for 3 months, 6 months. I mean, they paid to join our premium program. So many of them have remarkable results. I want them to just share with. But I do appreciate what you just said now, especially I just want to know how people have benefited from what we have discussed. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
So by the next meeting, I would have possibly, I want to do it in such a way that it will just be original. It won't be because I've asked anybody to come and tell us, but maybe we should just do that. It doesn't still change anything. So we have, okay, the adorable CEO. Do you want to say something on this?
Yes. Good evening, Dr. Nubadi. This is my first time of joining this call, but unfortunately I came in very late. Is it possible to get the recording?
Yeah, the challenge now is, you know what I'll do? I'm going to send a link to join one of our WhatsApp group about all the group. Make sure you follow that link and join. The reason is that for me to send this recording, I'll have to send it to about 90 different groups, and it's very tasking to do that.
Okay.
So what I will do is I will send the link to all those 90 groups. I mean, the link to join a particular WhatsApp group. WhatsApp just increased the number they can accommodate to 1,000. So make sure you join that group. In a day or two, I will send that link there.
All right, thank you, sir.
You're welcome, man. So before I take one or two more questions or contribution, let me go to a little commercials. So now we have different programs. We have free programs, we have paid for programs. The free programs are programs we have already done, we've completed that. Now, if you are joining us and you have not been on our premium program, program and you have any of these diabetes or hypertension, or you just want to live healthy, please, you should join our 3 months intervention program. So the 3-month program, for it to have a special WhatsApp group, then I attend to you personally, then we'll have a dedicated counselor that will also attend to you, like a team that will get across to you from time to time, so to supervise the progress. It's usually 3 months and it involves professional support like I've explained, and that's going to be 25,000 per month. That's 75,000 for 3 months. But presently, I'm giving it out for just 25,000. So you don't need to pay 75,000, and we are going to change it away from that anytime from now. So please, you can join, and also you can pay in installments. That will be 15,000 per month for 2 months. So if you want to join that program, and I think you should pay into Smart Medical Limited. Account number is 0479870792. 0479870792, and that's Guaranteed Trust Bank. Then send the proof of payments to 0803 50 50 222. You can always send me a message on WhatsApp, and I'm going to respond to that, to even request for all these details as well. So my number is 0803 50 50 222. So please do that. So this is the paid program, the premium program, and the benefit you get, if you see, we're just discussing the problems here and things you need to know, the awareness. Of course, I've given 1 or 2 tips on how to handle the problem as well, but it's entirely different when you come on the program. So it is not just a tip on the program. So somebody said you emphasize more on diabetes and not hypertension. I thought today is supposed to be for hypertension. So, well, I hope you were listening carefully when I was talking. I mentioned this thing that you said, that I usually say, whatever I'm saying for diabetes, take it for hypertension. That's number 1. Number 2, I think I even emphasized more on hypertension today, talking about this artery that I showed, and I explained some things. You see, what gives solution to a problem is not much talk. The little we have said, just take an action on it, and you're going to see a difference. What we are talking about is insulin resistance. That's the cocoa. It's like the foundation for diabetes, for hypertension, for polycystic ovarian syndrome. It contributes to cancer. It contributes to a lot of diseases. You understand? But insulin resistance is just the states. You understand? So it has been ascribed so much to diabetes. So you tend to hear so much about diabetes when you're talking about insulin resistance. It's not only about diabetes. That's the point I try to get across. And to solve it, I gave you 2 tips, and I've further given you a window on how to join our premium program. You have to pay for that, but when you pay for it, you also have special attention. And apart from that, we have information regarding how to do this thing, how to reverse diabetes, how to reverse hypertension, how to reverse high blood cholesterol. We give you in form of videos, PDF, then we give you consultation, professional consultation. So that's what this is about. That's going to cost you 25,000, and it's going to cover you for 3 months. And if you want to pay twice, you pay 15,000 per month for 2 months. So that's that on the commercial. If you need the account details, okay, I'll send it to this chat group now. But again, you can always send me a message on 0803 50 50 222. So that's it about that. Let's give room to question and answer, whatever the question is. I'm going to take it in a few minutes before I run out of this place. Question and answer, please. So there is no question that is a stupid question. There's no question that is not correct. The main thing you want to ask, to know how to, whatever bothers you. So let's see if there's a question. I'll take it. If there is none, wow, I've spent more than I planned. I plan to spend about 30 to 40 minutes, but it's all good. It's all good. So if you check the
Hello.
chat box now, I just sent a message there on how to join the premium program. Hello, sir. You can continue, sir. I'm with you. Sorry.
Okay. In course of reading some time ago, I've seen something like fasting. Reducing or reversing.
Diabetes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I want to ask: is it real or is it applicable that fasting can reduce or reverse insulin and all that?
It can cause good. It can cause damage. Do you understand?
Okay.
Depending on, usually when you want to do, generally when you have this problem, we don't even advise that you fast.
Okay.
But at the same time, even on our program, we introduce that concept, not particularly fasting. We call it pseudo fasting.
Okay.
Do you understand? And pseudo fasting in the sense that we make your body mimic the fact that you are fasting while you are not really fasting.
Okay.
Because, of course, apart from some religious purpose, for sometimes you can't do that for a long time and it will be too healthy. If some minerals, if some vital nutrients are not supplied, do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So there are pros and cons to it. There are patients that comes on board and we give them the room, especially if they have knowledge like you and they really want to do it. There are some people that come on board, it's just a no-no. Do you understand? It's going to cause more damage. So it's usually not what anybody should just decide and start on without a professional support. But yes, it's useful. Now, remember that I talked about the blood sugar becoming low and insulin resistance still being there. So many people have employed this method, and why they think they have reversed diabetes and hypertension. Yes, imagine if you are not eating, won't the blood sugar come down? It's going to come down, but you want to employ that understanding and apply it to the point that you know that you have used this to deal with resistance, and a lot of professional support comes into that, into how can you refrain from food and how some nutrient that needs to be replaced. So what we generally just do on our program is that we introduce a pseudo fast. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but fasting can help insulin resistance as well. But please don't just embark on it by just reading something on the internet. You might just be, if you have this challenge, you are a good candidate to be on our program. You understand? So, and that will guide you through every rope you need to pass through.
Okay.
Thank you for that question, sir.
All right, thank you.
Any other question, please?
Hello, sir.
Hello,
Please,
ma.
can you hear me?
Go ahead,
Yeah. Thank you for the lecture so far. My
You're
question
welcome.
is, can one actually embark on diet plan to do away with diabetes and high blood pressure? Only diet plan.
So now let me explain it like this, because I know some people are joining for the first time. I've said this in like 2, 3 or 4 previous meetings. Now, for me, when I talk about reversing diabetes and hypertension, which we have been doing for up to 5 years now, think about it this way. There is a vehicle 50 meters away. There is another one 200 meters away.
Yeah.
If you apply the same speed to reverse under the same condition, which one will come out first? Obviously, the one with 50. That is what it means to reverse diabetes or hypertension. I want to first of all lay that foundation.
Okay.
So reversing simply doesn't mean that suddenly there is no, your blood pressure is no more high, your blood sugar is no more high. That's the mistake many people make. Reversing simply means that this thing supposed to be getting worse is getting better.
Mm.
Do you understand? So
Yeah.
once you begin to see that this is getting better, you're already reversing it. And now, not getting better by chance. So, because sometimes, you know, the body have a, we call it body homeostasis. It has a way of regulating itself. But I'm talking about having a dedicated program. Now, to answer your question, yes, of course, even this diabetes and hypertension intervention program I'm talking about that I just advertised, we have a dietary guide, and we also have a meal plan. Dietary guide simply means the person can create our own meal plan from the dietary guide. Meal plan simply means we create a meal plan that will say, okay, do it like this. Do you understand? And it is one major part of the program. So you can, but the thing is that, like I said in today's lecture, how do you know when it is just the blood sugar or the blood pressure that has become normal? And how do you know that you are out of insulin resistance? Do you understand my question?
Yes,
that comes in where the professional support is needed. The second thing again is that how do you manage your medication and all of these things? The approach some people take is that once they begin to see that the blood sugar, blood pressure is coming down, they just want to get off all the medication. And remember, I said that sometimes you want to keep some medication for some time because it might be protecting the kidney or some other vital organs in your body. So, yes, you can and you should, but make sure it's with professional support. And I'm going to recommend our program for you specifically that you should come on it because we'll be able to give you support just as you have asked. Yeah, I hope I'm able to answer your question.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. I have one more question.
All right.
The insulin resistance, is there any connection or relationship with women that have fibroid?
Not particularly. Now, insulin resistance is still something that is being studied. Now, let me say it this way. Insulin resistance could be likened in sometimes to a process that supplies some sugar to anything in your body to grow very well. Do you understand? Well, in as much as I say that, I don't think it's a complete concept because sometimes even some cells are unable to take insulin. But the thing is that if are unable to take glucose, if there are growths in your body and other cells in the body are not taking in sugar as they should, you know, those growths is also like a cell now. Where do you think the sugar will go to? And the sugar is going to feed it to also grow faster. So I believe it's going to have some impact, but not a direct impact. What is causing fibroid is entirely different. But like I said, this insulin resistance have an undertone in most other diseases. It either worsens them or makes it, you know, it either worsens them or worsens them. Let me put it that way. It doesn't make it better. So hello, can you hear me? It seems you were not hearing me before again. I lost the connection. So I think we can call it a day. All right. So any more questions before I end the meeting? Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.